Good morning, children. I'm sure that you all must be keeping hale and hearty with your parents and siblings. In this difficult time when we are all locked inside our houses, it is quite natural that we feel upset and even at times irritated. But we are helpless because we can't move out, we cannot compromise our health. So, this is the time to show patience and this is the time to show the strength of your character. So smart people find many other ways to utilize their time in a very constructive and meaningful ways. So I think you all must be utilizing the time very constructively. Being in class 12, every day of your life is important because at the end of the session you are going to write your board paper and at the same time you will have to write papers for various competitive exams for the admission in different professional colleges. So keep yourselves healthy, fit and fine and study well. In yesterday's class, we discussed about speech and debate writing. So today again, we are going to discuss about this topic in detail and we shall look at all the nuances of both and speech writing so that you are able to write it very effectively in the board examination. So first in this slide, we will look at the definition part of a speech. So what does it say? Speech is the ability to express thoughts and feelings by articulate sounds. It is a formal address or disclosure delivered to an audience. The speaker expresses his or her opinion on the topic, for against, appreciating, criticizing, or even agreeing, disagreeing on the topic as the need be. He or she has the freedom or obligation to give suggestions also. So in a speech, the speaker has the freedom to go on either side of the topic, whereas in debate, this is not possible. In debate, the speaker has to remain on one side. A debate is a formal discussion on a particular matter in which opposing arguments are put forward by the speakers. The speaker speaks either for or against the topic. His or her arguments are built according to the motion of the debate he or she has chosen to speak. So that is the difference between speech and debate. In a speech, you can speak on both sides of the topic and at the end you are expected to give suggestions, but in debate you will remain focused to one side of the topic. It is either for or against. It depends which side have you chosen. Move on to the next slide. Now we are going to look at the important parts of both speech and debate writing. So we are now at value points. So value points you will see here: format, content and expression. Format contains 1 mark and format includes opening address and conclusion. Later on we will see how to build opening address and how to write conclusion. Content, which is the middle paragraph, most important, it contains 4 marks. And the third part is expression. So expression means grammatical accuracy and coherence and it contains 5 marks. So this is the parameter of CBSE for which your answer will be judged. So we will take one by one format, content and expression in the subsequent slides to understand how to build each and everything in the appropriate way. So let us continue with the value points. So I first talked about the format and your format begins with the heading part. Now here heading means the heading of the speech or the debate that you are going to write. So heading should be catchy and in not more than 5 to 6 words. You can go as creative as you want with this one. Just make sure you do not devote too much time on it in the examination. You should write heading because it is a part of format, but do not devote too much time. So what should you do? Now here, if you have read the question carefully, maximum chances are the heading is given in the question itself because the topic is mentioned there. So look at the heading, look at the topic given in the question, and your heading is done. Then comes the opening line, that is the beginning of your speech. So this includes salutations, introduction, and the topic. Make sure you do not mention your personal details like name or name of the school and other real identity that you wish to disclose in the real debate or real speech. In examination, do not do it. Let us move on with the value points, and before that we see an example of opening line, how the opening line should be built. Now here a suggestion is given to you. You can pick up this particular opening statement and use it again and again in your speech or debate, or else you can build your own opening and that can be used again and again for writing. So here the example is: respected chairperson, jury members, principal, teachers, and my dear friends. Today I so and so stand before you all to speak on the topic that is given in the question. But when you are speaking in a debate, add on to this statement: I stand here to oppose or support the motion of debate. All right. So this additional statement will be used when you are writing a debate. Or else you could start with a quotation related to the topic and then go on with the salutation and introduction as suggested above. But don't worry if the quotation is not there. Without quotation also, you will not do any harm and you can get very good marks provided you have started in the correct way. So quotation is handy, no doubt, but if quotation is not there, it does not mean you are crippled. Your speech or debate can be as effective, as mark fetching as with quotation or without quotation. So don't worry about it. Let us move on and look at the other value points. So first we looked at the beginning, and now let us look at the body. The body, which I said is most important. So it is the main part of your writing piece. It is always prescribed that you begin with a short introduction on the topic, and it is meant to be precise. So in short, you describe, you introduce the topic that you are going to write on. So it may include advantages or disadvantages depending upon the topic in question. You can take both sides when you are writing a speech. You can take one side, either advantage or disadvantage in case of a speech, but when you are writing a debate, you will stick to only one side, either for or against. So this is important to remember. Now here, it is important you follow a sequence. It is possible that you have too many points or very few points. When you have a lot of varied points, it is better you choose a few best ones and write a line on each. In case you have very few already, explain them in at least 2 lines or even more lines to build your content within the given word limit. So it is again the individual trick, individual smartness, how you exploit the points you have. Move on with the value points. It says you have strictly to follow the prescribed word limit. The word limit is 150 minimum, 200 words maximum. So in a limited time frame, so just to not to go on writing and writing. So CBSE questions always guide you to write a particular answer within the given word limit. Now next is most important point. So what does it say? Always begin with your strongest point. You can accommodate the weaker ones in between and end with another strong point. So in other words, the best points should be kept in the beginning. See, if I discuss psychology of the examiners, normally they read the initial part of the answers. So if your best point has come in the beginning, it gives an impression about you, what kind of writer you are, and chances are you will score high. And if there are weaker points, they can be hidden between the best points that you are writing, the strong points you are writing. Next suggestion is, feel free to give your personal opinion in 1 or 2 lines. Next point is, it is very important that you do not deviate from the topic. There are chances you may get ideas linking from one to another that may deviate you from the main point. So you have to refrain from doing so. Otherwise, you will exceed the word limit and you will consume more time, and then it will build pressure on you to finish your leftover answers, whether it is reading section or literature section. So do not do it. Time is very precious. You have to complete your paper within the given time limit. Move on with a few more value points. Now we are looking at the end part of speech or debate. It is concluding paragraph. Concluding paragraph. So now it is to be remembered that wherever you elaborate a problem, you always have to mention the steps being taken to improvise the situation and suggest a few solutions as well. This is about speech, because when you are writing a speech, you are supposed to give suggestions as well, so that it shows your concern about the issue that you have written. Okay? But in case you are writing a debate, hold on to your argument till the end. If you are writing for the topic, write for the topic. If you are writing against the topic, write against the topic. Do not compromise. Last but not the least, the concluding line, thanking the audience for the cooperation and their patience. It is very important to conclude what you have started. Never leave a speech or a debate, for that matter, any of your answers open-ended. So proper conclusion both in a speech and debate are important. Okay? So what we have talked about is the initial part, that is the opening line, the middle part, that is the body, and then the concluding paragraph. So these are the 3 important parts of your speech or debate. Now in the next slide we are going to talk about tips to write a speech. These tips are always handy. So I have also jotted down few tips for you. If you pay attention to them, if you read them even later, that will help you prepare a good speech or a good debate. So let us look at them point by point. First point is, make sure you use language which is suitable for the audience you are addressing to. So language should be simple, audience friendly. Number 2, usage of quotes is highly recommended. Quotes can be used at the time of commencement or as an ending statement, and it can be put even in the middle of your speech or debate. But as I said earlier, if you do not remember your quote, or if you do not have any quote, don't worry. At the end, the value points that you built is going to give you marks. So quotation is an advantage, but it is not mandatory part of your speech or debate. Third point is, make sure you write in paragraph. You all know the importance of paragraph, because when you change the paragraph, you mean to say that you are changing the idea. Fourth, general advice is practice previous year question papers. So every teacher gives you advice on this. Next is, read as many samples as you can. It will give you an idea as to how they are actually written. The next point is, read newspaper editorials or opinions. They give new ideas and opinions that may help during exam. Few more tips. Point number 7, plan before you pen. Now this is again an important advice. Any work done without planning may be compromised. Their quality may go down. So what kind of planning can be done? Just make a list of all your important points on the rough sheet last sheet of your answer booklet so that you do not forget relevant points while writing. Now this also helps you in maintaining a sequence, which is very important. So this is an important plan that you can do before you start writing. The eighth point is presentation. Now because it is language paper, so your presentation must be up to the mark, both in terms of handwriting as well as neatness. Now handwriting, if even you think it is not beautiful handwriting, need not worry, your handwriting should be legible. Point number 9, make sure you double check for grammatical accuracy and spellings because they carry marks. Under expression, you are checked for it. Point number 10, indicate the change of paragraph clearly. It has already been described. And the last point, underlining the main points is very important. But it is advised here that you do it after finishing all the answers of the question paper. You should not go on wasting your time in between while highlighting the points. It should be done at the end. So you are advised to spare few minutes for revision, and during the revision time this highlighting work can be done. But when you are highlighting, use a pencil and a scale. Your lines should be straight. Otherwise it will make your presentation bad. Now in the next slide, we are looking at the useful expressions for speech. And then we shall look at the useful expressions for debate also. So let us start from the beginning, that is introduction part. Now how you can introduce and what kind of expressions can be used. So two examples have been given here. Like we will be looking at identifying, investigating the effects of so and so, that is about the topic. Today I will be discussing, that is how you can begin your speech or debate. Next is inform the audience of the structure of your presentation, how it is going to develop further. Here the sentences that can be used is, I want to begin by, then I shall move on to another expression. This presentation is divided into 4 parts, for example. That is how you can talk about the construct or the plot of your speech. Next is signify to the audience that you will now begin discussing the first main point. So now your points are coming. So how it can be described? Now that you are aware the overview, let us begin with, my first point covers. To get started, let us look at, these are various suggested points that can be used. Then when you have already started, now you are moving from one point to the other point which are similar in nature. They can be linked as in the same way, likewise, equally, similarly, like you said something earlier and the similar point is being discussed. So similarly, equally, likewise, that is how you can begin and link the previous idea with the next idea. Next, you may have to introduce conflicting ideas. Earlier point was about similar idea, now the conflicting, opposite idea. So what kind of expressions can be used? However, on the contrary, on the other hand, you said something, but now on the other hand, I want to say this. I said something earlier, however, I would wish to say this. So that is how the contrasting or conflicting ideas can be elaborated. And then as a final word, let me summarize my point of view. Now here comes the summary. To reiterate my point of view, my final thought is, in a nutshell, I'm trying to say is, to sum up, now these are the expressions that can be used in concluding part. Similarly, there are useful expressions for debate as well. So when you are starting your debate, start with a welcome note. The motion for the debate is so and so. Let us first define some important concepts. So you are building while welcoming the audience, you are building your debate. Then phrases to present the most important point. This argument or idea is of paramount importance. the most important idea is so and so. Most importantly, I want to mention that. In one of the tips I suggested earlier that you give your most important point in the beginning, or even if you are writing them in the middle, these are the expressions that can help you. Most importantly, I want to mention that. The most important idea is so and so. So that will bring attention of the examiner on your most important idea. Now in debate at times we have to concede an argument of the opposition. So how that can be explained? It is true, obvious, evident that, and then however. So you are now presenting the contrasting idea. While you might say that, it is important to remember that. While you might say that, the idea of the opposition and then your idea. Although, even though it is true that, I believe that. So that is how you put the conceding points in a contrasting way. Few more expressions for debate. Sequencing a list of arguments. Your arguments are going in order. First, second, third. So how they should be sequenced? First of all, I'd like to state, to begin with, I'd start by, for start, and that is where you start. Then the next argument I'd like to state is, that is how the ideas are sequenced, arguments are sequenced. Then you are adding an argument to strengthen your point. In addition to that, you said something earlier, now you are saying in addition to that, furthermore, moreover, I might also say that, not only that, but also. So that is how the ideas are added. And then we come to the concluding phrases. So you are now concluding your debate. So here these kind of expressions can be useful. As a final word, let me summarize my point of view. To reiterate my point of view, in a nutshell, what I am trying to say is, to sum up, with these expressions, you can conclude your debate. Now these expressions that I have suggested you can be handy while you are writing your speech or debate. So you can remember some and use them when you are writing. So this is it. So the complete speech and debate have been explained very thoroughly, right from the format to the useful tips and the useful expressions that can be used in a speech or debate. In the last three slides rather, I have given you sample answer. So in this slide, you see the sample answer of a speech. And if you remember what I discussed in the value points, first start with the heading. So here you see the heading, importance of cleanliness. Okay. Now this importance of cleanliness, if you read the question carefully, it has come in the question itself. So it is very easy to write your heading and then introduction, middle paragraph, and then conclusion. And at the end, you would notice the words thank you have been used to express your courteousness, thanks, obligation to the audience who have listened to you very patiently. So then you come to sample answer of debate. Now it is for the motion. Similarly, next slide is against the motion. Okay. So keep going through various samples, that will always help you because they give you the input, they remain at the back of the mind. You never know, the same topic or the similar topic can be asked in the board examination. So if you have read well, if you have read many samples, many solved answers, it is always going to help you. So this is it for the day. And now children, along with this, I am going to give you an assignment also. With the previous class also, we gave you an assignment. Those were the questions on a speech. I hope you are practicing those questions at home. And similarly, today I am going to give you an assignment on debate. There will be various topics on debate. So take out your time, practice, because without practice, nobody can achieve perfection. And especially for the board exam, if your target is to score very good marks, and I'm sure that everybody wants to score good marks. So you must practice. There is no shortcut. This is it for today. Next, we will take another important topic of your syllabus. Till then, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.